So I wanted to make this video for a very, very long time. I just never necessarily knew how. I mean, I know that I tend to go on like really long rants, and the only way I could really think of making this video was going on a really long rant, and can't avoid that. So I just want to warn you guys, this is going to be pretty long. Don't know how long, but that just shows how much I absolutely love movies, and I'm sure you all can relate. But look, basically, you've seen the title of this video. I'm your guy in the chair. Thank you guys so much for watching this. This is a video on why I love movies. It's coming from a place of, honestly, a lot of vulnerability, because, like, my love for movies goes literally to the day I was probably born, and beyond that, it's just like, this is a world where I truly, for a very long time, felt alone. Like, I didn't necessarily feel like there were so many people out there who loved movies as much as I did. And watching people growing up doing movie channels, being able to express their love and make me feel like I'm not alone in this world, make me feel like there are other people out there who love movies just as much as I do. Not more, but just as much as I do. And to be able to necessarily feel a part of that world by watching all their YouTube channels, and now me being able to have a YouTube channel of my own where I do movie reviews and hopefully inspire people to, you know, do their own thing at some point in time, and also inspire people to just watch, honestly, whatever you love, because there are so many movies out there for all of us, and we need to watch as many as humanly possible. But just being able to do a video like this really makes me happy, because I get to share part of myself that is honestly the core, main part of myself. Literally, my entire personality is based around movies, which may or may not be a crazy thing, but, you know, whatever. I'll accept that fully. But before I go on this rant, I want you guys in the comments, and everybody who is watching this video, I want everybody to share why you love movies. Like, before you gotta listen to me go on for however long this video is going to be, I want you guys to be able to share and express how long you've loved movies, and just what, like, particular movie made you fall in love with movies, the moment you knew you loved movies, all that good stuff. Like, share with me your stories on why you love movies. But as far as I'm concerned, guys, this is the intro to why I love movies. So my love of movies really starts when I was a kid, because my parents to this day always tell me if they ever wanted to get anything done around the house when I was a kid, all they had to do was put a movie on, and they never heard a peep from me. Like, the entire time, literally from the beginning of the opening credits to the very end, they would not hear from me at all. And they said at some points it really scared them, because they didn't know if necessarily anything was wrong, but they'd always come and check on me, and I would literally just be in the same position they left me, completely stuck, with my eyes glued to the screen, being in absolute awe and astonishment of what I was watching. And as far as I'm concerned, to this day, that is still the case. Because if you put me in front of any screen with a movie or a TV show, but if you put me in the screen or in front of the screen with anything, well, almost anything, I will be absolutely entertained by it. My eyes will be glued to the screen, and you won't hear a peep from me for the entirety or the majority of the time that it's on. That's honestly where it began, guys. Like, as far as I could recall, I have always been absolutely fascinated by what movies were able to do, what they were capable of, the worlds that they were able to bring me into. Like, and I'm talking about, this was just like kids movies, or animated movies, as I like to say. At this point in time, like Toy Story, Shrek, what else? The Incredibles, Cars. Like, mainly Disney movies, but then you have DreamWorks, Shark Tale, like, so, and then of course, you know, you got the Disney Channel original movies. Like movies were my entire universe. Then of course at daycares I got to watch a little older movies like Daredevil, Hulk. Got to watch Blade. Thanks, Miss Octavia, we appreciate that. But I got to just see so many cool things, and the thing that always really had me in awe with movies, especially up until at least I was like 25, was the fact that I was always watching movies from a perspective of, I could never do anything like this. So even if it was a bad movie, or an average one, or, you know, movies that necessarily people didn't think were that good, it did not matter to me. Everything I thought I was watching, I completely just was in astonishment. Like, I was in such a shock, because I thought it was the coolest thing happening, because I was always brought into a world that I could never come up with, I could never imagine, I could never thought would be fathomable. Like Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet was one of the coolest movies I've ever seen in my life as a kid. And then beyond that, you got movies just like I, Robot, and there's so many actors I got obsessed with. Like, it's just like there were so many things that movies brought to my life, to my world, to my personality that I truly, 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 at some point in time, just never thought I could ever do. Like, that's why I loved them so much, because it was a way for me to escape. Like, for me as a kid, growing up watching all of these movies really just brought me to worlds that I wish I could live in. I am a huge escapist, and that's really where I escape to, movies. Like, whatever world a movie could bring me into, whatever story a movie could tell me, I was appreciative of it, like, from a very young age. Like, dude, there are so many movie experiences that as a child literally shaped my entire personality. Like, when I first went to go see Spider-Man 1, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 is my very first movie I've ever watched in a movie theater. It is an experience I never will forget, because the Green Goblin scared the living crap out of me quite a few times in that movie. But it was the very first opportunity where I got to see my favorite superhero on the big screen. And my entire family was there. So it was like, that was an experience unlike any other. Then there was Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. And I got to see that in theaters with my parents. And that was the day and the moment that I realized I actually loved movies a lot more than people, other than like the average moviegoer does. I was like 5 or 6, and I knew at that point in time, watching Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, I loved movies more than the average moviegoer, because that was the first movie I ever cried in. Like, I was 5 or 6, and by the end of that movie, Mary Jane saying "Go get him, Tiger" literally had me bawling in absolute tears. My dad literally looks at me and goes like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, that was the most, and my literal response to him, I'll never forget it, that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, Spider-Man has he did, like, to this day, a huge impact on me. I am the biggest Spider-Man fan in the world, but no, like, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 is really when I woke up and realized, like, this is something that I could call my passion. This is my hobby. This is something that I absolutely adore. But as a kid, I kind of felt alone, because, like, I never really, like, tried, but of course there were kids in my class that could watch movies and had movie references and things like that, but they were all to animated movies, not necessarily, like, they didn't have an interest in a wide range of movies like I did, so I always, like, felt alone. But of course, as I got older, I realized that wasn't the case. But no, like, growing up, it kind of felt lonely, like, just loving all the movies that I did. Dude, I remember literally, I wasn't able to go to, I was able to go to the movies enough as a child. I'm not going to say I wasn't able to go as much as I wanted to, because I wanted to, if it was up to me, I would go every week like I do now. But as a child, I was able to go enough to see movies and experience things, because I want to be grateful, because my parents were only able to bring me so much. But I would love movies so much as a kid. I would literally spend hours scrolling through the Comcast guide of movie trailers and just watch them over and over and over and over. And for the movies that I wasn't able to go see, I would go in my garage and just like literally use my imagination, and just like SpongeBob, getting an imagination box. I would get in an imagination box and literally just play out the rest of the movie in my head, just until I was able to see what the actual ending or what the actual movie was like. And I would do that for so many different movies. I remember doing that for like Speed Racer, The Dark Knight. I wasn't able to see The Dark Knight in theaters, but like I said, very blessed for the movies that I was able to see in theaters, like Sky High. I'll never forget the day my mom took me to see Sky High. Finding Nemo, oh my God, The Incredibles. And one movie, again, like throughout my years, there are certain particular movies that absolutely changed and shaped my thinking and just way of living, because these movies were absolutely so generationally amazing. The very first Iron Man. I watched the very first Iron Man on the steps. The theater was so packed. Like, my dad liked aisle seats, so we always had to sit up top. He was in the aisle, but the place was completely packed. I sat on the steps. Did not have an issue with it whatsoever, because that movie was so awesome. That's still to this day one of the greatest theater experiences I've ever had. Watching the first Iron Man in theaters was something to be in awe of, because that was a point in time we didn't know what this thing was about to turn into, and just watching Iron Man was so cool. Like, and Iron Man became a movie that was like our family Christmas movie. We'd watch Iron Man every Christmas. Honestly, literally a lot of times before that, but mainly on Christmas. But that was one of a very special moment in my life as well. And the older I got, the more obsessed I just got with movies. Like, I would literally I had journals full of movie watch lists and movies that I needed to see, movies that I needed to watch, like movies that I would literally yeah, it was a movie watch list. You know what that means. I literally would just journal it down and have I had at least 4 journals full of movies I needed to watch, and I checked them off every time I watched them. And it just really brought me to so many different worlds and so many different people and actors and actresses that I could truly be appreciative of. And one thing I always will be grateful to movies for is the fact that it opened my perspective on a lot of different people in the world. Like, to not be so judgmental, to not be so just, critical of other people and, what they're going through, because everybody has a story, everybody has, things going on that people may not understand or may not be able to relate to. But I feel like movies, in a way, are able to open your eyes and show you the tragedy but beauty of other people's stories. And it's movies are truly a universal language, and that's something I came to realize the older I got. But as like growing up, I felt very lonely in my love of movies until I found movie channels like Jeremy Johns and Chris Stuckman and John Campia on AMC Movie Talk, him, Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, there's some Ashley Mova, Perry Nemiroff, love Perry Nemiroff. Then you had the Screen Junkies, I literally felt like I had found my people. Like, I was so obsessed with those videos and being able to look at their thoughts on movie reviews. But I was terrified of being on a camera until I was 20. Whenever I started this channel, 24? Yeah, 24 is really when I started to actually try stuff and be brave. But yeah, I could never see myself doing a YouTube channel because I was terrified of being on camera. That's why I never truly thought I could do anything that I saw on screen. It did not matter the genre, comedies, romantic comedies, romance dramas, any of that horror. But I just didn't think I could do any of that stuff because I thought everybody was just so amazing. And I got a lot of my I'd say 90% of my personality is from movies, and 10% the rest is from my family and other people. But 90% of it comes from movies and TV. And my friends always told me I had it in me to try, and that's why I have these actor dreams of mine now, that I want to actually do this and make movies and be in the movie world, because I feel like it's my passion. But we can save that for later. As far as the journey that I've been on with movies, it has been something, and honestly, I'm explaining it as best as I can, but it's unexplainably beautiful. It's truly just an amazing thing to be able to watch so many movies and to be told so many different stories. And I'm just appreciative of them all. Even the bad ones, man. People ask me all the time, why do I go see bad movies? Why, if I know a movie is bad, I'm still gonna go watch it? Because and I mean this really wholeheartedly, even if a movie is ass, even if it is complete and utter dog shit, I am still appreciative of the fact that I got to be introduced to a world that I never seen before. But now I know that world sucks. But I'm still appreciative of the fact that somebody was able to be brave enough to make a movie, because it's hard making videos like this. Now, it's not as hard as 9 to 5s and people's daily jobs, but it for me, it definitely is hard to turn this camera on and share my opinions and be vulnerable and be open and be myself, because you motherfuckers are judgmental. Everybody's so critical nowadays. But movies teach you to be fearless, and it took me a very long time, but I finally got the message of that again in a Spider-Man movie, the into the Spider-Verse, but really Across the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse is the moment that my third eye awakened, literally, because the first time I watched that movie, I saw it on shrooms, and it is to this day one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. It's possibly, I think it might be the greatest experience I've ever had in a movie theater, but there's a lot of others. But Across the Spider-Verse was the moment that I realized I am capable of doing anything I put my mind to. Like I can, like that movie was the moment I told myself I can be Spider-Man. I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. I can be Spider-Man. I'm gonna be Spider-Man. I'm gonna put this mask on and be everything that these movies have been telling me, and God has told me. Well, God and these movies have been telling me I'm supposed to be since I was a kid. But Across the Spider-Verse is truly the moment that, first of all, guys, that movie was so beautiful. I wanted to hug the screen. Like the colors were literally like the colors. It was so beautiful. The first 10 minutes of the movie, I wanted to go up and hug the movie screen and just be completely just merging with it. I wanted to be like Squidward and SpongeBob, literally like heart to heart with that joint. It was so beautiful. But by the end of it, I gave it a 10-minute stand. Okay, it was maybe like 8-minute standing ovation. I lied to you not. I gave that. You can ask my friends. Like, it was like 13 of us there. I gave that movie the longest standing ovation I've ever gave. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life to this day. But that movie is truly what inspired me to truly believe in myself, that I could go further and chase my dreams. So thank you to Spider-Man for that. But as far as my entire movie journey, just to go back to special memories, like even watching movies there was a period in time where, like I said, I couldn't really go to the movies as much as I wanted to, so I had to watch a lot of movies on my laptop. Those days I cherish. I had so many special memories, man. Project X, The Hangover, dude, there's so many good movies I saw on my laptop. Prometheus for me personally, Looper, incredible. I saw the first Avengers. Actually, I didn't see the first Avengers in theaters. I saw it on my laptop, and I was pretty disappointed when I first saw it as a kid. But then I was able to watch it again, and I got more appreciative of it. This Is the End. So many movies, man. So many great memories with all of them, and I cherish them all. I seriously do, man. Like the reason why I love movies is truly, it's a simple but more complicated thing, because it's like I love them for so many different reasons, man. Like, and especially when you can ask me about each genre, like why I love each genre. Like my favorite genre of movie is rom-coms, and that may be surprising to people, but it's surprising the most when I tell them that. But yeah, rom-coms are my favorites because I'm a hopeless romantic, and movies are the reason that I have the hopes and dreams that I do for love out here. But actually, it's not just these women. Everybody, all of y'all suck. Like we all suck. Everybody just makes it hard. But movies are the reason I have such a big heart and such a big hopes and dreams for my love life. And I'm never gonna let those go, because rom-coms inspire me, and they always have. They always make me laugh. They're in my safe place. Honestly, they were for a very long time my guilty pleasure, but then I got very confident, and I'm like, no, I love rom-coms, and my second favorite genre is horror. But I know it's such like opposite ends, right? I love rom-coms so very much, and I have so many great memories with those. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Friends with Benefits, When Harry Met Sally, which is more of a recent watch. I've seen that recently, like 3 years ago. That was the first time I ever seen it. Amazing. Sleepless in Seattle. Movie memory that I have, a little sidebar here, about one of the greatest love stories ever told. The time that I went to see La La Land with my mom. That is a memory I will always cherish, because I do cherish every time I get to watch movies with my mom, because she loves them as much as I do. She just doesn't get to go as much. But La La Land, I will always be able to cherish being able to take her to that, because that was one of the most special experiences I've ever had. We were in a theater full of all old white people. It was all older white people. The theater was sold out, but we were 2 black dots literally in that theater, but it was the most special experience of my life. Yeah, the most special one. Like, I will always hold that one in my heart forever, because we absolutely adored everything about that movie. My mother is the reason I love musicals. Granted, the musicals she likes, I absolutely despise. Like Little Shop of Horrors creep me the hell out. I don't like The Wizard of Oz at all. The Wiz, hate those movies. But I do get my love of musicals from my mom, so we are able to share love for movies like La La Land, In the Heights, Wonka, stuff like that. And she's a big reason why I love musicals. And I, for a very long time, had a hidden love for musicals, but I'm very appreciative of them now. But horror movies, I would definitely say, are my second favorite genre, and like I said, I know those are complete opposite ends, and I didn't even really start liking horror until I was like 13 or 14, because I was terrified. I was a wuss as a kid. Like, you couldn't get me to watch a lot of like real scary stuff. Of course, I like the Halloween specials on like Disney, Nick, Cartoon Network, stuff like that. Like those were cool, and those weren't that scary. But like when it came to like real deal horror, Chucky, Jason, Freddy, Ghost, none of them. Wasn't doing any of that, bro. I was so terrified. Anytime I go into any Blockbuster and see the horror movie section, I'd go over there out of curiosity, but all the covers creep me the hell out. The Grudge, didn't want to watch any of those movies. Final Destination, I didn't watch a Final Destination movie till I was like 15 because I thought those movies were real. I thought those movies were real, and if you watched them, it was probably going to happen to you. Didn't want to be anywhere near horror until I was like 12 or 13. My godbrother made me watch the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which honestly, I watched, like I said, when I was a kid, I used to watch movie trailers a lot, and I'd watch that one a lot, but it creeped me out every time, like really badly. I was just very intrigued by it, because I always just wanted to see if I could get the guts, or have the guts to watch a horror movie, but no. Not until my godbrother made me, but I'm very appreciative of it because, yeah, horror is one of my favorite genres for sure. Like I said, the movie that broke the curse, or maybe not the curse, but broke my fear of them was the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. And I thought, and it's crazy to find out everybody doesn't like that movie, but I really thought it was very scary for what it was. And personally, I haven't watched it in a while, but from what I can remember of it, at least, and I have a very good memory of that movie. Like I said, Jackie Earle Haley creeps me the hell out. So as far as I'm concerned, he did a good job. It's a good movie. That was the movie that broke it. And then from there, all I can remember is I went on a huge binge of just horror movies. And the reason I love those movies so much is because they tell a more truer, haunting, very like dark versions of stories that, you know, where they need to get like lessons through, or at least, okay, let me explain that better. They basically tell like stories with very heavy lessons that you need to like know, and they tell it in a way where you'll never forget it. That's really why I like horror movies, at least the great ones. The great ones always have deeper messages to them that they're really trying to get you to understand, or something they're trying to share, and they just need to do it in the most fucked up way possible for you to remember. And that's why I really adore horror movies. Like my love for horror movies really like grew with Cabin in the Woods, Scream, which is my favorite horror movie franchise, Drag Me to Hell, Evil Dead 2013. Like I really, really love the horror genre. Like, it's awesome. I'd say after that, mysteries and thrillers for sure. Another movie that made me absolutely know that I adore movies way more than the average moviegoer was Prisoners. Denis Villeneuve's 2013's Prisoners. Watching Hugh Jackman in that movie was absolutely ridiculously miraculous, because I think that was the very first movie I saw of Hugh Jackman's that was not in a Wolverine getup, or he wasn't Wolverine, and I did not know he had this. I did not know he had what he pulled off in that film. Like, it is to this date the best Hugh Jackman performance I've ever seen, and that's when Jake Gyllenhaal really went on his crazy run of great movies with Nightcrawler and all those other hits. Like, he went on an insane run after Prisoners, and yeah, that is another movie that I'll never forget. One of the best endings to a movie ever. Beyond that, another movie that is definitely a standout in my movie journey is The Social Network. The Social Network is the first time I realized that I actually understood, and I watched this movie when it pretty much first came out, not in theaters, but when it came on Netflix, I got it on DVD. The first time I watched The Social Network, I understood that I really, really loved movies because I was so intrigued by the dialogue. At the age of like 11 or 12, I was so locked in on what everybody was saying, and the conversations were so fluid and rich, and you didn't necessarily want to stop listening on what was going on. Like, there was nothing that I couldn't take my attention off the screen because I was just too invested in what they were saying, the way they were saying it, and the way the script was written. All credit to Andy Serkis. I loved The Social Network. To this day, I watch that movie all the time. It is so damn good, and it hits the same every time. Doesn't hit different. It hits the same every time. It's that good. And honestly, a little further down my movie journey, honestly, when I got to, like I said, when I was a kid, I didn't get to go as much as I wanted, but I'm very grateful for all my theater experiences. Like I said, if it was up to me, I would go every week. And once I started working at the movie theater, which was my very first job, I literally went every week. I still remember the first movies I was able to watch for free: Entourage and San Andreas. I really enjoyed Entourage. I really enjoyed Entourage, but and then from then on, I got to see so many great movies, man, for free. I'm blessed. I am extremely blessed for that because, like I said, I was at the movies every single week, getting to see everything that I wanted to. So many special memories that, like Creed, Black Mass, the Avengers, Black Panther, like so many special experiences with those movies, man, that I got to see at the movie theater. And now, of course, you got Regal Unlimited. Yes, Regal Unlimited, not that AMC stub stuff. We don't do AMC over here. Regal gang for life. That's where I worked. Don't bang with no AMC members. But, I mean, if you go to an AMC, I'm glad. But Regal for life. Fuck AMC. No, not fuck AMC. Just in case they... No, I'm with Regal. I stand with Regal. F AMC. But, yeah, like, I guys, movies have just played a very special part of my life for a very long time. They really, like I said, have shaped my mind on a lot of just things in the world, just the way you're supposed to treat people. Don't be such a jackass. And it gives you different perspectives and different people's stories. And I love being drawn into all of them. And like, I don't have like, the only genre I truly say I don't really explore much is Westerns, because I'm not like I've seen like the important ones, I guess, like True Grit. No, I've never. No Country for Old Men. If that, I guess that counts as a Western, but I consider that to be like a crime drama thriller kind of thing. But never seen the old Clint Eastwood, the Good, the Bad, the Ugly, shit like that. No, I've never seen movies like that. But Westerns are the only movies I don't necessarily like explore too much of. But even like growing up, being able to experience like foreign films, like Another Round over COVID was one of the best experiences in COVID. And honestly, I was so grateful for that movie because it gave me hope that people were still trying to make great decent movies for the year, and we weren't just missing out on, great movies. But then you also had a lot of hits in COVID, like Palm Springs, The Invisible Man came out before COVID, but The Invisible Man deserved a lot more love. It just didn't get the opportunity because it happened literally right before COVID. But guys, it's just like movies. Yeah, like you could ask me so many questions. I could go on and on about movies for days. Like I said, a lot of my personality came from a lot of movies that I watched, and mainly like Adam Sandler movies, Seth Rogen movies, like Just Go With It. One of my favorites, The Longest Yard, easily one of my favorites. Mr. Deeds, I watched when I got older, very appreciative of that movie. But Big Daddy, I watched on my PSP for hours. I'd say comedies is probably definitely in my top 5 genre for sure. I'd probably say, yeah, I could watch comedies for days. I could watch so many comedies for just hours on hours. Rush Hour, big influence on my humor. Friday, the Friday trilogy. Not even about to say all 3 of them, just the Friday trilogy. You got movies like Hitch is a rom-com, one of the best rom-coms. But then you got, why can't I think? The Other Guys, Anchorman, Will Ferrell, Steve Carell movies. Like, it really did not matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I love so many different comedies, and I'm appreciative of them all. Another thing that I'm really appreciative of, like, the movies really bring me, like, it's kind of like a party trick, as they would say, but I'm kind of like a human IMDb film index. Like, literally, anybody who needs, like, to know who was in a particular movie, even if I haven't necessarily seen that movie, I at least know who's in it. Like, I like kind of being, even if I can't pronounce their names all the time, I know what you're talking about. I really like being kind of like a human IMDb film index. It's really fun. I used to do really just corny games by trying to, like, I'd go on Google and see, and like, I would Google an actor or an actress, and then from the common interests, actors and actresses that would pop up in that guide, I would try to find another specific actor or actress. And then from there, I'd be able to be open to, like, all movies that came, movies that different people were in, movies I had never heard of. It just gave me a way to be, like, really explore and see all the names and people that were out there. Like, I'm telling you guys, I'd make up so many games when it came to movies like movies could just hold my attention forever, and they still do. And the older I'm getting, and at this point in my time now, making videos like this and being able to share my story on why I love movies with you guys, like I said, I'm in this space where I want to be an actor. I want to make movies when I get older. I want to be able to write, direct, produce. I want to do it all. And the more movies I watch and the more older I'm getting, like I said, Across the Spider-Verse really opened my third eye to making me really believe in myself. But like the more I'm watching, the more I'm doing videos like this, the more I'm posting, I'm really starting to believe in myself. And I'm really making this video just to say to all you guys out there who love movies as much as I do, maybe you love them more. I don't think so. We can always test that out, but you're not alone. Don't think look, I used to feel as a kid like my love of movies made me a weirdo, especially the movies that I was into, because I knew I like there are so many like A24. I love all not even just the horror movies, like all A24 movies are definitely deemed like weird. I'm into that kind of weird. I love Neon, love those kind of weird movies, man. I am a big fan of those. Midsummer, The Lighthouse, like movies like that, man. I absolutely, really, I want more of. I love the weird ones, and they made me feel like an outsider. Made me no. Being into like all types of movies and movies that I knew people would deem weird made me feel like an outsider. Made me feel like maybe people don't love it as much as I do, or they can't really relate. That's why movie channels and things like that were my outlet. And the thing I love most about the universal language of movies is that we all have experiences with them that we will always hold near and dear to our hearts. Even for the people that don't necessarily go to the movies often, even for the people that don't necessarily watch them as much as the people that do reviews like this and make movie channels, even if they don't watch them as much as others do, everybody has that one movie, that one experience that they will never ever forget, and they always revisit because it brings them back to a place in their lives where they are happy and they're content and they absolutely adore it. Now, like for me, watching a lot of movies with my family growing up, those were moments I'll always adore because one, they always made sure to stick to my golden rule. Do not talk. Do not say anything during the movie. I never played that game as a kid. Don't play it now. We're not talking. I don't know what's going on. I'm watching it the first time, the same as you. Stop talking. But my family's very respectful of that. And watching movies with my family, like I said, Spider-Man 1 in theaters, very special moment. We watched King Kong, but it wasn't in theaters. I was at my house. And watching my cousins be absolutely terrified of those spiders was hilarious. We watched movies like The Grinch, Dr. Seuss, The Grinch Stole Christmas. I am not a fan of that movie because just Jim Carrey as the Grinch really creeps me out. But I was able to get through it as I got older, whatever. Having so many special experiences watching, like I said, The Dark Knight, we watched that on Christmas. Love that. Even watching this Christmas, I was not able to see that in theaters, but being able to watch that at home with my family, one of the most special memories of my life because it's like watching your family. Watching this Christmas is like watching your family. If you're Black, I don't know if other people can relate. I don't know. It's a Black movie, so that's what I mean. But this Christmas was a very special movie as well. I have so many great memories with movies, and like I said, it's a great universal language because there are so many great foreign films out there. There are so many great movies out there, like in the animated space that really just needs more respect. Like movies like Raya and the Last Dragon, Kubo and the Two Strings. Then you have movies this year, The Wild Robot, Transformers 1, just there's Inside Out 2, the first Inside Out. I mean, even The Incredibles, man. Like, everybody remembers where they were when they first saw The Incredibles, no matter what age you were. Those movies were absolutely spectacular. And then there are other movies, like I said, that personally shaped my childhood, like Mike, Roll Bounce, Coach Carter. Dude, truly, movies were something for me that just I knew deep down in my heart was different. Like I knew there was something about these films, something drawing me to them that I just could not shake. And the older I got, I now understand that this is my passion and what I want to do. But as a kid, being able to really look back and realize I was really just figuring all that out and just letting the movies talk to me very slowly, and I was really starting to get their messages the older I got is really cool, man. Dude, oh God, I'm getting emotional, but I'm sorry. going to the movies even is a very special experience for me, man. And I'm like, forget the concessions. Just being able to go to the movie theater, sit in a seat, and for 2 hours or however long the movie is, be able to be thrown into a world of your wildest imaginations and be told. I have been an avid storyteller since I was a kid, and storyteller in quotations too, because they also use that for lying. So I was a very good storyteller as a kid, but I always had an avid imagination for storytelling, and movies were my way of being able to just be introduced to things that, like I said, I personally never thought I could come up with. And to this day, there's still a lot of movies that I think I could never come up with, and I appreciate the crazy genius of a lot of the directors like Edgar Wright, Christopher Nolan doing Inception, Edgar Wright specifically with Scott Pilgrim versus the World. When I saw Scott Pilgrim versus the World in theaters, like next to Treasure Planet, that became one of the coolest movies I've ever seen in my life. It was an absolute blast to watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World in theaters, because that is a world I would love to be in. And then there are other theater experiences I hold near and dear to my heart. Like when I and I am so glad I get to talk about this part, because going to the movies with my sister, shout out to UG. Going to the movies with my sister was so special to me, because at a time where this was a time before I got my first job at the movie theater. So she spent her money and always took me, and we always went all the time. It was so amazing. We watched so many great movies together. Pitch Perfect 2. Yes, I am going to say Pitch Perfect 2 because we adored that movie. Mad Max Fury Road. We watched that in the same weekend. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. We saw so many great movies together. And one of the greatest movie experiences I've had with my sister is when we went to go see We're the Millers. And she remembers this clearly. Not only was We're the Millers one of the most surprisingly funny movies I've ever seen in my life, but on top of that, what made the movie 100 times funnier was there was a guy behind us, literally like with the most like contagious. He had one of the most contagious laughs in the entire universe that made the entire theater bust out laughing. It made the jokes 100 times funnier, and those are the best comedy experiences. That's why I am so jealous that I was not able to grow up in the comedy era of the 2000s and 2010s, because we truly missed some special experiences, man. I was just too young to be able to go to those movies. But movies like Tropic Thunder make me so upset I was not able to experience that in the theater, because I'm sure that was absolutely a grand, spectacular, hilarious time. Like, I'm pretty sure people were dying laughing at Tropic Thunder. I'm upset that I wasn't able to see movies like Mean Girls in theaters. I was upset I wasn't able to see This Is the End. Other guys, movies like that, we don't get those like that anymore. Wedding Crashers, we just don't get them like that anymore. And it's a disappointment, but it is what it is. We have got movies like Game Night, and that's one of my favorite comedies of all time and of recent. So I'm grateful for those. But like I said, I can't thank my sister enough for always taking me to the movies and continuing to light that spark that was inside me, and there's now a flame and will build like chakra, like Naruto, and it'll just burst, and I will be able to be everything I am hoping to be in this world. Sorry about that. But look, guys, like, movies have truly been something that have really like spoken to me on a much deeper level. Like, everybody has that thing that they consider art and poetry and motion. That's movies for me. And just being able to go to the movies and experience those, experience those movies and experience, those memories are things that I will forever be thankful for, and things that I will not take for granted. I don't ever take going to the movies for granted, because I know people can't, especially nowadays, man. Movies, especially kids, that's just ridiculous. And I really don't take for granted being able to go to the movies as much as I do, because it's my favorite place in this entire world. It is a place where I truly feel like Nicole Kidman. Like that is the one thing I will give to AMC. That Nicole Kidman ad, yeah, she explained perfectly why we love the movies. I mean, and then it's Nicole Kidman. Come on. Like, she does that perfectly. But I never take those experiences for granted, because I know that everybody does not get the opportunity to be able to go see movies, and it's like, for me, just being able to see everything that comes out, I truly, truly am thankful and appreciative of that. And then, like I just said, there are so many other movie experiences I just want to talk about, but I could go on for hours about that. But other things that I do want to say I am appreciative of, I get to be my family's movie guy. I've always been my family movie guy. Like, anytime somebody needs a movie recommendation, they know who to come to. They know, but this is when I definitely started to figure out that I was a lot more abstract on my movie choices than the general audience, because some of my movie recommendations people would think is weird or just slow burns, which I really adore. I like some slow burns. Some people just didn't really get it. Like, I remember one time I showed my friends The Hateful Eight, and they absolutely to this day still make fun of me for it, because they were like, that was the biggest waste of 3 hours of their lives. Some people just don't get it, because The Hateful Eight is incredible. I remember the first time watching it, I literally asked my uncle to take me to the theater, and my brother and my cousin came with me. They weren't really interested in the movie, but I'm like, I don't know why you brought them. I knew they weren't going to be interested in that, and they were just like, this movie is so long. Like, it's long for a reason. It's really good. Just pay attention. But that's, of course, when I knew. Another example of how I knew my movie taste was not in the same realm as the general audience, and I own that with a badge, with a stamp. Like, I own that with the most confidence I could possibly own it with, because I love being a movie nerd. I love just being able to explore and expand my taste, because I feel like it truly allows you to see so many different perspectives and see so many different stories and worlds. And really, what I really adore about the movies is when they are able to let you empathize with characters. I'm a very emotional movie watcher. I love a good cry. I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but I love me a good cry in a movie, and especially when it's a heartbreaking one. There are tragic, and now the ones I don't necessarily prefer are the tragic, haunting endings like Requiem for a Dream. I don't need nightmarish crying like that, but ones that like tearjerkers, heartbreakers, those good romance, drama, heartbreaking movies. Those are the ones I adore. Well, maybe we are weirdos, but honestly, that's okay. I'm a weirdo. I'm a proud nerd. I'm a proud weirdo. I will own it. Literally, to quote Everybody Wants Some, which is a phenomenal movie, we're weird, man. Just be weird. Embrace your inner strange. Don't be who they want you to be. I'm paraphrasing at this point, but don't be who they want you to be. When you bring yourself and be you, that's when it gets fun. Embrace your strange, guys. Movies have given me so many great personalities, so many great impressions that I can do. I can quote so many movies. I absolutely love being a film index. I love being a film nerd. And thank you guys for watching these videos and supporting and subscribing and all that good stuff, man. Even the views, even those who have viewed my stuff and not subscribed. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. But please, at some point, subscribe so we can pick up the tempo here. But I got to do that on my end too. I want to make better videos for you guys, and this is hopefully the start of that. But guys, like I said, yeah, that's my journey, and that's why I love movies. Thank you guys so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Well, I guess for watching. This is not a podcast. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, please share your guys' story on why you love movies. What are the movies that literally brought you to the point in your lives where you absolutely adore them as much as I do? Just share your experiences on movies and how they absolutely have just changed your life as much as they changed mine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Look, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and so much more. This is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.